Ugh, finally! Oh, that just took like 2 hours of doing runner event runs. But anyway, we have the wonderful Seraphim Dragon here, which is of course the main runner event reward dragon right now, and this angel run event will be ending in just under half a day. So at least we managed to get him. We've got more to use, which will at least get some gems and stuff to finish off this event. But one thing that is really important to make sure that you are aware of is that the usual permanent speed up happy hour has actually been removed from the game. And now, if you weren't aware, permanent speed up happy hour, also known as PSUHH, if you ever see it in text, was essentially the 12-hour time skips that we occasionally get as special events that come up in the events panel. Some players, usually free-to-play players that have never made a purchase, had the ability to skip these, and this has been removed once again in replacement for a beta. But many of us are just not getting any time skips whatsoever, or the time skips that we're getting are just so meaningless that compared to what we had before, it's awful, to be honest. And the way that you can see all of the general feedback for this was basically the same as last time. In the official Discord server for DC, you can see that everyone is saying, no, we don't want you to remove the 12-hour time skips. This is like literally the only thing that free-to-play players have that, you know, keeps them really compelled to keep playing the game. So this image has been spread around everywhere. So I think if you're someone that is also against this, it's worth probably spreading this yourself in the general feedback section of the official Discord server, because it is a very different game playing DC when you don't have these skips. Because like if you've got a light dragon egg that you want to use as part of the runner event quest, for example, you can no longer do this quest very easily. You have to sit there doing terror plus terror, either breeding or hatching depending on the quest, and it can take like 20 minutes just to get one of these done. Whereas with time skips, it'll take like 3 minutes, if that. It's really, really huge when we consider that we have things like the heroic race coming up. And you will have to do a lot of terror plus terror breeding and hatching if you don't have those 12-hour time skips. Which, again, if you ever made a purchase in the game, maybe you don't have those time skips anyway, but for free-to-play players, this was a massive bonus, especially during heroic races that now, unless they get rid of it, we're not going to have. So, do be aware that we have a heroic race coming in a day and 11 hours, so we will have technically a mini break apart from the maze event that's currently on. That will be ending, and then we will be getting the new heroic race with high heroic in it. But another thing I did want to note about the Forever Maze is that Rainbow Onesie is not intended to be acquired free-to-play. Reason being that Rainbow Onesie is just too expensive. So we will go through that in a moment for all the costs in this event, because we will most likely be going for forever if we can guarantee the last bit of currency that we need. But the other event that we've got going on as well is Archangels, which has been going on for a while, and we finally managed to get all of the items that we need to unlock GRACEFUL. And I mean, GRACEFUL is a mythical, and mythicals can be interesting. They can be used on teams if they're fully empowered, but getting enough stars on a mythical to fully empower them is very, very difficult. But we will claim this, and there we go. Nice work, Dragon Master. Enjoy your well-earned rewards. So we get the mythical GRACEFUL dragon and a lucky perk chest. So let us enjoy these bountiful, beautiful rewards. There we go. Beautiful dragon. Oh, was that a little dance? Is that a little graceful dance? Ooh, look at them go. Lovely. And then on top of that, we do also get this perks chest, which has in it 1 health perk and some trading essence, which, you know, trading essence can be useful. I'm not gonna hate on that. But the other collection, I don't think this is happening. If we were to gem some of the runner event and get the extra event items, maybe if we got some of the what's it called, if we gemmed for some of the items at the end, but then I just don't think that we're close enough for me to want to bother wasting all the gems on this one, so maybe we'll miss out on this collection. The other one was I would say a little bit more doable, although that one was still difficult. But of course, having so many Joker rewards and a Phoenix perk in there, they weren't going to make it easy. So I guess for this collection, we are just going to leave this one for now. Oh, I guess we'll open up our Dragon TV stuff as well. But moving back over to that maze event, we will take a look at the total cost for everything so that, you know, if you haven't spent your currency, you kind of understand what's going on. It's like right now, at the moment, we've got 7,200 currency. We've got 1 day and 11 hours left, which means that we essentially have 4 resets left, which is 600 times 4. So 6, 12, 24. You know, pretty simple. So we're looking at 2,400 extra currency that we can get from this, which is not quite going to take us to what we need even for forever, unless we manage to get bonus currency from elsewhere, which there's none in the ads at the moment. But if we take a look on Ditlep here, which usually does have some relatively reliable information, sometimes it's a little bit wrong, but if we look at the costs of each of these dragons, we've got Cat, which is of course one of the key dragons, 860, 3,200, 6,000. Forever is actually 10,800 currency. And considering that the maximum amount of currency that we can actually get from the resets of this event is like 5,000, like even the new dragon is double just the base event currency that we can earn from the event itself. Renaissance is 8,100, which is realistically the one that most players will end up getting. And I think he's the most intended to be gotten dragon. But Rainbow Onesie is unfortunately 13,000, which is almost, not quite, but it's almost 3 times the amount of total event currency that we can actually get. And that does, of course, include all of the resets in this event itself. And it does also include the currency from the runner event. So you would have had to hit every single counter for currency, so that's step number 24, which gives 2,800 currency, plus the like 5,000 that we're going to get total from the actual resets in the event. And yeah, it's not looking nice for most of these dragons. Of course, the other thing that we also had going on at the moment are the Angels quest, which you'll see I'm quite far behind because I can't log in at specific time frames. But of course, you can also get the bonus currency from here, which you'll see there's another 5,100, 5,200, 300 currency in here. Is that really going to be enough to get the dragons? Probably not for the grand majority of us, especially if you've missed any resets in this event. It looks like Renaissance is going to be the main easiest acquired dragon and probably most commonly acquired dragon. But of course, if you do want to try and go for forever, maybe you got some lucky drops in ads or anything like that and you can just about make it, you'll be having to go through all of the key paths. So obviously you'll have to start with the key and then go on the other key paths. But Rainbow Onesie is just like a whole new level, and I think it's because they expect Rainbow Onesie to be acquirable for those that say buy the Ultra Pass, the Ultra Divine Pass, and it's more or less a dragon for them. Of course, Rainbow Onesie is breedable at the moment, and I do know a couple of people that have successfully managed to breed her, which kudos to any of you that did. I've watched hundreds of ads trying to breed this dragon, and I have not been successful, and that's because these breeding event island dragons are very difficult to get. Fundy and Rug were available in the runner event, so you don't really need to go for them, like just play the runner event, but Rainbow Onesie is not really doable free to play, so you basically have to breed her, and yeah, that isn't happening. And especially now that we've had our permanent 12-hour time skips removed, now every time we try and breed for her, it's going to be like very long timers, and instead of us being able to skip this in 47 minutes, now we're going to have to wait half a day to do it. So it's probably practically not going to happen. So that is another major downside of them removing these permanent time skips. It just impacts every single event, every single breeding event island, everything so much. And when you're not someone that's spending which obviously they need to make money, I get that, but I'm actually in favor of them bringing out permanent time skips for everyone, whether you're paying or not. I've always complained that I think it's just very unfair that, you know, some people get permanent 12-hour time skips and other people don't. Whether you're a spender or not, I don't think anyone should be, you know, forbidden from being able to do it, but hey, maybe that is just me. I'm still going to try to breed her a few more times if I can, because I don't want to fully give up, but, you know, the odds are definitely against us. But if you do manage to get Rainbow Onesie, it may actually be worth skipping the breeding and hatching times so that you can get these quests done, because you will have to spend tons of food, that is for definite. It will be a very difficult set of quests to finish off because you're going to have to level her up a lot, but you can get tons and tons of orbs for her. You can also get legendary Joker orbs and some gems. So it depends on how much food you've got available, really. If you've got tons of food available, like me, to just waste, I say waste, you are getting stuff back. But if you do manage to get her, make sure you get her out and get these quests done, as many as you possibly can in this time frame. But like getting 320 plus 20 plus 15 plus 10 plus 5 orbs for a mythical legendary is pretty good. And this is the case for most mythicals because, again, they're very hard to get, and plus they actually get really good bonuses when they're empowered, which is something that isn't really spoken about very much, but mythicals get really good bonuses, especially just legendaries in general when they're empowered. So that is why they are generally the better options if you are like strapped for Joker orbs and you just want to get a big bonus with empowerment. It's normally mythical legends that are the best for that. But anyway, I think that is most of the stuff that I wanted to go through for now. We do, of course, also have this being teased, which this dragon was technically leaked quite a while ago, but they're saying if the Ascended ever plan to descend into your world, they would need a leader, a heroic leader to be exact. So this does look like we are getting an Ascended heroic, which is probably going to be coming in the next pass, which means that he's going to be like a heroic, or a High Master Karma Dragon, High Corrupted Time, High Voodoo, that sort of level is probably what is coming. And so I know a lot of people are probably going to be buying the Elite Pass when this guy comes out, which, you know, I do not blame you. Especially if they do end up completely removing our permanent 12-hour time skips. Like, why would you not? Why would you not be compelled? You get the bonus event currency, you're probably going to get that dragon and tons of orbs, another dragon. You know, like, I understand why some people want to spend on something like that. I personally won't. But, you know, I can only hope for some of these high heroic heroic Karmas or any of the others any of these days. So maybe there'll be a way to get him free to play, or, you know, maybe he will be somewhat acquirable. We'll see when the event actually gets released. But all I know is we've got lots of stuff coming up. We've got lots of events ending. So there's lots of things that have been happening. But once again, if you are not happy about them removing the 12-hour time skips and replacing it with this, which they've confirmed is different for every player. So some players might get like a lot more ads than others. They might get more beneficial ads than others. They might get pretty much nothing. If you're not in favor of that, probably best to leave your feedback in their official Discord server. There are a lot of very unhappy players, and that is an understatement. And they were unhappy before it got removed for bug fixing, and they said because of community feedback, and now we are back to it being in the game again for some reason. So, yeah, I don't think anyone is particularly happy about that. Whether you are someone that had them or not, I think you can appreciate the fact that, like, I could skip this egg, and I could skip that egg, and then we could be doing more breeding and more hatching all the time. It's just, I'm going to be logging into the game less frequently. Like, I don't see how this is ultimately beneficial outside of them just making me not play the game as much, which, isn't that worse for them? It's more beneficial for me, but I mean, Socialpoint, if you want me playing your game, like, let me play your game. Anyway, that's, I guess, my thoughts for now. Very bizarre choice, Socialpoint.